Their hitters for like McKay and Ellis, guys who can run the ball out of the park, they have an incredible sense of the strike zone for power hitters. What do you see out of those guys as you prepare your pitchers?
Well, their offense is balanced. They got, what do they got? 3 guys with double-digit stolen bases. They got 7 guys with double-digit doubles. They got guys that can, as you mentioned, control the strike zone through their strike zone awareness. But they hit 290 as a team. They have a really good offense as well. And whenever you have a team that does that, you're going to have to beat them in a bunch of different ways, and they can beat you in a bunch of different ways as well.
They've been here. They've been in this situation before. You guys haven't. How do you prepare your team for that? For being in a super regional where I think it's like their 5th straight or something like that.
No, it is their 5th straight, and you know what? I think you guys have been around me long enough. I believe in brutal honesty, right? I mean, their program's in a different place than ours, right? I mean, this is their 5th one in a row. This is our first time in school history, but at the same time, our message to our team all year has been to do things that have never been done before. So this is another opportunity, and if you truly, truly embrace that, and you just want to continue to do things that have never been done before, we've never won games at their place, right, to go to the College World Series. Hey guys, they're 22 at home against non-conference opponents. There's a non-conference team has not come in there and beat them. So that's going to be the message to the team. Hey, let's just keep doing what we've been doing. We've been trying to do things that have never been done before, and you know what? This weekend, what another awesome opportunity to try to do that.
So do you feel like your guys can come in there loose with the attitude of we got everything to gain and nothing to lose in this sort of situation?
If they don't, I'll be extremely disappointed.
Riley said that when you guys went there, that you played with a different level of comfort than when Louisville came here. How do you did you see that, and how do you guard against that this weekend?
Yeah, you know what? I thought our guys took it a little too personal the first time, right? And that was the week where we had an awesome week, right? And we didn't play as well. We didn't play as well early in the game. I think if you remember, our bullpen put up a bunch of zeros late, and we had a chance to take the lead in the 9th. And so obviously we played them the second time, and anytime you play a team at home, obviously teams are more comfortable, right? I think their team and our team are in totally different places now than we were maybe a month and a half ago or 2 months ago. And you know what? That's supposed to happen throughout the college baseball season.
I'm looking at a pair of tickets behind the plate for this game on StubHub for $480. What do you think about just the level of excitement for this particular matchup in this state? That people are clamoring, and Kentucky fans are mad they can't get more tickets and all those things.
I'm really happy for the state of Kentucky because I've always said this: if their team can be good and our team can be good at the same time, that's really good for our state. And you know who's getting a lot of attention from the national media is both programs. Right? I mean, there's a lot of people talking about that. When you start thinking about all the other states and all the other teams they could be talking about, a lot of them are talking about our state and our team. So that's really neat. And I love what Coach Stoops said. He's like, man, we're talking about football. We need to be talking about baseball, right? That was really neat because a lot of people are starting to get excited.
How far has Zach Thompson come along in the short time you've had him?
Oh, he's really grown. And I remember I got hired on a Tuesday, June 14th. It hadn't even been 365 days yet. I was just meeting with Aaron Hogue, and we were just talking about that. But he was the first family I went to go see. I got hired. I did my press conference on Tuesday. I was in the office on Wednesday, and I was gone. I think it was Thursday or Friday. And he's a special player, and he's grown. When you really think about in all areas of his game, his fastball command's gotten better, his breaking ball's gotten better, his changeup's gotten better, his ability to hold runners. And when you start going through the checklist of things as far as on the field goes, I mean, he's really gotten better in every single area, and that's fun to watch. He's a very, very good talent, as you guys know.
I think you're one of these unique coaches that doesn't mind looking ahead. You told us early on you love dessert. You're looking at dessert even when you're eating your entrees. How sweet was this past weekend? Was that dessert, or is dessert still yet to come for you guys?
So I reminded our team yesterday, the first hashtag I ever sent them, I got hired on June 14th. I did the press conference in the afternoon, if you remember, right? Mitch and them came down, they picked up Kristen Reeves and I, my father-in-law, mother-in-law. We did the press conference Tuesday afternoon, and Wednesday was my first day in the office. And Wednesday was the first day I sent them a group me message, and the first hashtag I ever sent them was Omaha 2017. As you mentioned, I'm looking ahead, right? I want to know where I'm going, right? And so that's been the goal. And then the second day I sent them a message about us having to win a national championship, right? So Omaha's the destination, but the goal is to win the whole thing. And as long as I'm the head coach here, that will always be the on-field goal. And it doesn't bother me to look ahead. So I sat up right here, a little different stage, and told you that when we were going to do this, it's going to be even sweeter because it was going to have to be harder. And so that was just one step. We have to win the whole thing for us to accomplish our ultimate goal.
Nick, after you took over, how long before you knew your kids were really buying it?
Well, you know, the first team meeting, I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was like 2 hours, a little under 2 hours. And look, they were locked in. Like, I don't even have everybody's eye contact right now in this room. I'm telling you, for 2 hours, I sat there, and those guys never took their eyes off me. And at that moment, I thought to myself, well, okay, at least they're going to maybe have a teachable spirit, right? Or they were probably like, who's this crazy guy with all this energy on his
You talk about the energy, your energy level went a couple of notches higher this past weekend than the regular season. How has your mentality changed, knowing, if it has at all, that Omaha is 2 wins away?
I hope it hasn't changed. I hope you guys, you would say to me that, man, this guy's the same guy that stood there on June 14th, a little less than a year ago, and I'm the same guy. And I know, John, you're my guy that's going to hold me accountable for that in the media. But I hope I haven't. Have I got a little bit more intense with maybe some umpires or things like that? Yeah, maybe. But I hope I want to be, because you know what? Wins and losses will never define who I am or define who our team is. But I want to be the same guy. But I cannot tell you guys enough how happy I am to hear our players talking about pouring themselves into the team. Right? I mean, is that not unbelievable to hear like Riley Mahan talk about just serving his team and doing whatever he can to help our team? Like, who wouldn't want to hear that? And I'm about to share this with our team. You guys brought up the cup hat. We talked about how he built that cup hat 1 cup at a time, right? I want you guys to think about this. This is unbelievable, and this is how this works. Out of all the guys and everything that happened in our program, I think you guys would all agree ESPN is the worldwide leader in sports, right? Who and what about the University of Kentucky got on ESPN? The cup hat. The guy that poured himself into the team the most. I want you to think about that. It wasn't the Grand Slam. It wasn't the dog pile. It wasn't any of that. The guy that got on ESPN was the guy that had the cup hat. And by the way, what was he doing? He was chasing a foul ball to serve his team. That's the guy that got on SportsCenter. Oh, and by the way, that just happened to bleed over into our team, and we actually happened to win a championship and do something that's never been done before. So I'm about to share this with our team. That's how life works, right? Who's the guy and everybody that wants to pull for it? The guy that's just the most selfless person. That's how this works. How do you not root for that guy? And that's why they're rooting for the cup hat guy. And his name's Austin Keith, by the way.
When you look at your rotation from this last regional, what did they kind of reveal to you that was different maybe from even the SEC tournament?
Sure, that is an awesome question, because our rotation has been the same every weekend, right, up until this. And I truly, truly believe this. As the season goes on, things change, right? I mean, we made a change with Cole Cottom catching there on, what was that, Sunday. But things change all the time, and you know what? This was one of those unique years where our rotation stayed the same. I haven't coached many teams where you look up and you go, wow, for 15 straight weeks, our rotation has been exactly what it's been. And matter of fact, I don't know if there's a team in our league that's had the same rotation every week, and I think we might be the only team, and don't quote me on that. But so as the season goes, when you start getting into tournament play like the SEC tournament, and then they started getting mixed up and switched up, and you know, guys started falling on different days. So I believe in my heart, had we stayed on the normal traditional Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but when we started playing on Thursdays, then we had to start playing on Wednesdays, and our rotation got a little jumbled up and different. But at the same time, I'm comfortable with that, because I've told our team from day one, the most important pitcher on the mound for us, our number one pitcher, is whoever's on the mound at that time. That's our